It was a quiet lunchtime in the house of a family called the Twinkles. A little girl named Lucy had just made herself a tasty peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She sat down at the table with a big smile, ready to enjoy her snack. But suddenly, right before she took a bite, the sandwich twitched. Lucy gasped and jumped back. What on earth was going on? The sandwich was moving all by itself, wiggling its breadsticks like arms and legs. But that's when Lucy saw two beady little eyes pop open on the sandwich. He blinked at her and then let out a blood-curdling scream. "No! I don't want to be eaten!" Startled by the sudden outburst, Lucy stumbled back. "Wait a minute," she said, her eyes wide with disbelief. "My sandwich is talking? And not just any sandwich. This was no ordinary sandwich. This was Sammy the sandwich. And Sammy was a very special sandwich, made with the finest sourdough bread, creamy peanut butter and delicious jelly. Sammy had always dreamed of one day coming to life. But he never thought it would actually happen. Now that he was awake, though, he knew he had to escape before it was too late. With a surge of adrenaline, Sammy wiggled his breadstick arms and legs as hard as he could and leapt off the plate, sending peanut butter and jelly flying everywhere. Lucy watched in amazement as the sandwich hopped off the table and ran across the counter, past the fruit bowl and over the sink. "Run, Sammy, run!" shouted an apple from the bowl, watching him go. But where was Sammy running to? And why was he so desperate to escape? As Lucy pondered these questions, Sammy made his way across the kitchen, dodging chairs and countertops in his frantic dash for freedom. He soon came across a broccoli floret munching on a carrot stick. "Hey there," said Broccoli, noticing Sammy's distressed expression. "What's the rush? I gotta get out of here," Sammy exclaimed, out of breath. "I don't want to be eaten." "Don't be silly," Broccoli replied with a chuckle. "We all get eaten. It's part of life." "Not me," Sammy retorted. "I'm too delicious to disappear." And with that, he dashed away again, leaving a confused Broccoli in his wake. Determined to escape the fate that awaited him, Sammy raced around the kitchen, weaving between pots and pans. But his little breadstick legs were beginning to ache and his heart was pounding. He had to find a hiding spot, somewhere safe where Lucy wouldn't find him. Just then, Sammy spotted an open cupboard under the sink and squeezed himself inside. It was dark and cramped, but it was better than being caught, he thought. As he huddled in the corner, trying to catch his breath, Sammy couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness. He didn't want to be eaten, sure, but maybe there was something he didn't understand about it. Taking a deep breath, Sammy decided to wait until Lucy had gone so he could sneak out and find a new home. But what he didn't know was that Lucy wasn't giving up on finding him. She searched high and low, but Sammy the sandwich was nowhere to be found. Just when she was about to give up, she noticed a small crumb on the floor near the cupboard. Could it be? With a pounding heart, she reached for the doorknob and opened it. Inside was Sammy, fast asleep, curled up in a ball. Startled by the sudden appearance of the little girl, Sammy panicked and tried to make a run for it. But it was too late. Lucy had grabbed onto his crusty side and was staring at him with wide eyes. "You're real," she whispered, more to herself than to Sammy. "A talking sandwich. I can't believe it." Sammy trembled in her grasp, unsure of what to expect next. Would she eat him? Would she throw him away? Or perhaps she would try to keep him as a pet. But Lucy surprised him. Instead of hurting him, she sat down on the floor and began to talk to him, not as if he were a sandwich, but as if he were a friend. I know this might be scary for you, she said softly, but I promise I won't hurt you. In fact, I have an idea. Before Sammy could ask what she meant, Lucy stood up and walked over to the cupboard. She ran Family, who was sitting at the kitchen table reading a book. Mommy, Daddy, she called out. Can you come here for a second? I need your help. Her parents looked up from their mugs of tea and followed her back to the cupboard. Look what I found, she said proudly, opening the door. And there, nestled in the corner, was Sammy the sandwich. At first, her parents were as surprised as Lucy had been when she first discovered him. But after hearing Lucy's promise to take care of him, they agreed to help. Together, the three of them carried Sammy to the kitchen table and sat him down on a plate. Now, Sammy, said Lucy, I have an idea that will change everything. Sammy looked at the children with fear in his eyes. What could they possibly have in mind? Was it some kind of trap? Just then, Lucy picked up a spoon and started digging into a pot of yogurt. This is going to sound crazy, she said, but I think we should put some of this yogurt on top of you. Sammy gulped. Was this the end? Would he be smothered in yogurt and eaten? But instead of eating him, Lucy used a spoon to carefully spread the yogurt on top of Sammy's bread. There, she said with a smile. Now you look even more delicious. Sammy couldn't believe his eyes. Was Lucy actually making him even tastier? What was she playing at? Then, as if reading his mind, Lucy explained her plan. I think we should make you into a parfait, she said. We'll layer yogurt, granola, and fruit on top of you, and then we can share you between us. Sammy stared at her in disbelief. Are you serious? He asked. You want to eat me? Well, not exactly, Lucy replied. You see, I don't want to eat you by myself. I want to share you with Mommy and Daddy too. Sammy still couldn't believe what he was hearing. He had expected to be eaten, but this seemed like a much kinder fate. At least he wouldn't be eaten by just one person. He would be shared among three. Sammy thought about it for a moment. Maybe being eaten wasn't so bad after all. He looked at the Twinkle family sitting across from him, their faces full of kindness and warmth. Maybe being eaten by such nice people wouldn't be so bad. In fact, it might even be a good thing. With a newfound sense of courage, Sammy took a deep breath and said, Okay, I agree. Let's make the parfait. The Twinkle family cheered. They were so happy that Sammy had agreed to be part of their lunch. Together, they built a parfait in a tall glass, layering yogurt, granola, and fruit on top of Sammy the sandwich. Each bite was a delicious combination of flavors and textures, and Sammy was proud to be part of such a tasty treat. As they ate, Lucy, her mom, and her dad told Sammy stories about their day and asked him questions about what it was like to be a sandwich. Sammy enjoyed listening to their voices and feeling the vibrations of their laughter as they ate. After the last bite of parfait was finished, Lucy's mom and dad had to head back to work. As they said goodbye to Sammy, they promised to come home and visit him again soon. Lucy hugged her parents goodbye and then turned back to face the empty glass. Sammy was gone. She smiled, knowing that he was now a part of her family and that he had brought so much joy to their lives. As Lucy played in her room, she couldn't stop thinking about how lucky she was to have met Sammy the Sandwich. He had taught her that even the most ordinary things can be extraordinary if you just open your mind to the possibilities. From that day on, Lucy's imagination soared and she never stopped believing in the magic of make-believe.